today his purposes, Ken Dano is otherwise known as the Secretary of Defense, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. We are so happy to have your insight into what it takes to be a great blue liner, and we're specifically going to talk young blue liners today. So what makes a real standout young defenseman?
Well, the game's evolved, and I think for the better from the standpoint where it's more about the puck moving, join the attack type of defenseman. Not that there weren't some great offensive defensemen back in my day, but these young guys, the impact they have right out of the gate, right in their first couple of seasons in the National Hockey League has been remarkable. A lot of that's because of analytics, and it's grown the game from a skill set and from an offensive standpoint. So you want that mobile defenseman. You want a nice balance, but there's so many good young defensemen that have had such an impact, especially the way the game has gone. I don't just look at offensive numbers. That's part of it, a big part of it, because they are getting involved in much more than, say, 10, 15, 20 years ago, top to bottom. But these guys have just been so impactful to their teams, dynamic to watch, and right in their first season, second seasons where they have come in the National Hockey League and taken it by storm.
Yeah, it really is a young man's game now. And with that being said, we asked Dano to make a top 10 list. Let's take a look at what he has 6 through 10 before
24 and under.
Count down. Okay, there you go. That's your qualifier. Okay, actually 23 and under.
Excuse me.
Perfect.
23 and under.
So here you go. Charlie McAvoy, Rasmus Dahlin, Mikhail Sergachev, Thomas Chabot, and Adam Fox. All great defensemen, but there are 5 that you put even higher. Who's number 5?
My number 5 is Ivan Provorov. He's kind of gets lost in the shuffle every once in a while. Some don't rank him as high or even in the top 20, but I think his game continues to grow. Had 7 power play goals last year, most in the National Hockey League from any defenseman, and he's just a good two-way player that competes. He joins the attack. I think it's only the tip of the iceberg how he's going to continue to grow as a player, and he's just that well-rounded defenseman, strong in his own zone. Continues to get better offensively. You look at his first 4 years, he's played right around 300 games, where that's when a defenseman it sometimes takes to mature. We talk about that all the time, where they finally hit their peak or their stride, where they really settle in and become that bona fide number 1 defenseman. You look at all the ice time he gets, and he continues to get better. So I got Provorov at number 5.
Okay, who's number 4?
Number 4, I'm just checking my list again. Zach Werenski. The best goal-scoring defenseman, 23 and under, from the back end in the National Hockey League. Double digits every year he's been in the league for 4 seasons, and in fact had 20 goals last year.
Wow.
He reads the play so well, Jamie, in the offensive zone. A guy that knows where to just kind of get into no man's land and get that puck. He's very accurate with his shot. He moves it extremely well. Smooth skating defenseman. So I'm putting Zach Werenski there. And again, some of these guys may not be better in their own zone than some of the other defensemen I might have lower, but you look at different factors. This guy had 20 goals last year.
Yeah,
and in fact,
in a shortened season.
And in fact, he is the best goal-scoring defenseman, I think, in the National Hockey League. He knows how to find the back of the net because he just picks his spots, and he has a terrific, accurate wrist.
Well, whether it's goals or just points overall, I'm sure the next 3 on this list are going to be very talented as well. And they're even younger than the last couple 2 we mentioned. Who's your number 3?
My number 3 is Quinn Hughes. This was like splitting hairs 3 and 2, but I'm going with Quinn Hughes at number 3. He's changed the dynamic, the look of the Vancouver Canucks. A smallish defenseman, the new age defenseman, but just the skating ability, the vision, him able to go from defense to offense in transition, maybe as good as it gets already in the National Hockey League. What I love about him is passing ability. Yeah. One of the best passers tape to tape, one of the most important aspects of the game that maybe we don't focus on enough. It's always right on the tape, and in tight quarters, he feeds his teammates as good as him.
He finished number 2 in this year's Calder Trophy voting, and I'm guessing the guy who finished 1 is probably in your top 2. Who is number 2?
Cale Makar.
Okay.
And that's where I was saying splitting hairs, because I thought maybe Quinn Hughes should have won the Calder, but you couldn't go wrong with either guy. Cale Makar's probably a little more dynamic one-on-one as far as going end-to-end with the puck than Quinn Hughes, because he can beat defensemen, he can beat anybody, make you look silly like that goal we're just watching there. So he's electrifying. He's got the fastest first 3 steps I've seen from a young defenseman. I mean, he's standing still and bam, he's gone with the puck. He's in the play, either on his stick or moving it and then jumping in the hole, and he gets so many great offensive chances. Big reason why he was called the trophy winner. Boy, this kid's getting better and better. He plays on a real good team. Let's not forget that, so he's insulated better maybe than a Quinn Hughes or some of
Sure.
these other young defensemen. I had Thomas Chabot lower in the totem pole in top 10. As Ottawa gets better, he's going to jump tremendously. So
Yeah,
just wanted to throw that out there. But Kel McCarr is such a dynamic defenseman.
Yeah.
He's so exciting to watch on a nightly basis.
We've seen such big names and such talented players so far in your top 10 list. That leaves us with number 1, who is the best young defenseman right now.
I'm going with Miro Heiskanen of the Dallas Stars, and this is very subjective because a lot of people will put him maybe not even in the top 10 in the league as far as all defensemen, but 23 and under. What I love about him, and it's an important factor, he adapts to the style of his team's play. Only 30-plus points during the regular season, I think 36 with the Dallas Stars. They were a defensive, tight-checking team, so he took care of his own zone, very responsible in all 3 zones. But all he did in the playoffs when Dallas ramped up the offense, 26 points, 4th in history of the game from the back end for defensemen, and he's a young one, 4th in the National Hockey League all time with 26 points from a defenseman in one single season in the playoffs.
Wow.
So him or Miro Heiskanen does it a little more cerebral, a little more subtle, but smooth as silk, poised, a great stick, great in his own zone. But it's not all about the offensive numbers. And
Right.
he did have fantastic offensive numbers come playoff time, but some will say, well, how do you have him number 1? He only had 30-plus points during the regular season. He's that mature that he does whatever it takes to help his team to win. And if it means offense, great. If it means defense, well, that's what he'll do as well, as good as anybody.
Could he win a Norris in the next 5 years? Yes
No
or
question. He's definitely winning one.
All right, we can't wait.